All right, not to ignore, because you've listed this on your website as well. Not to ignore, you served and had experience with Traffic Bureau, Accident Investigation Squad, investigation of fatal car crashes, Flight Observer, in the Helicopter Unit Employee Action Review Committee, Division Peer Assistance Team, and you served on the Crisis Intervention Team. What is a crisis intervention team?
A crisis intervention team is part of a steering committee of a county that trains law enforcement, first responders in general, but in my arena, it was law enforcement, to be able to respond to a crisis, uh, generally a mental health crisis, a citizen that's suffering from a mental health crisis.
So it's training for like officers to deal with a crisis.
In any type of crisis,
Yeah.
but generally it's geared towards the mental health.
Okay.
And you become part of it. You become certified and become part of a team.
Okay.
It's almost now to where every officer is CIT trained.
Mm-hmm.
That was the goal when it started, and I think they're getting there now. It's a fantastic program, and I tell you, there was a little bit of pushback from old school officers. I know when it first came out, the units I worked in, it was something. Well, it's more of a touchy feely type thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't something that I volunteered to do because of the type of work that I did.
Yeah.
We dealt with serious crime. So what was a catalyst for me to become involved in that is I wanted to be a hostage negotiator.
Mm-hmm.
And there was stringent criteria to even apply for that. And one of them is you had to be CIT qualified.
Right.
Now, there was a point system for everything you got. So if you weren't CIT qualified, you wouldn't even get it. I mean, you get points for that, but you needed to get that. So I went to it. And I tell you what, it was unbelievable. I learned so much from that.
Hmm.
Now, mental health is it's near and dear to my heart for several reasons. And but that was the training I went through Franklin County, and it was 40 hours of you went out in the field and with social workers and went out and were exposed to what they had to do, and it gave you a whole different perspective on how to deal with an individual that's in a mental health crisis. And now I knew what the hostage negotiation team said you had to be CIT
Oh, I
certified,
see.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but then becoming a hostage negotiator, your training was even far and above that. I mean, the training we got with that was far more than the typical CIT officer. But nevertheless, that was the starting point. And and then you're part of that team. Back in the day, before there were so many of us, you were called to certain scenes if there was somebody having a mental health issue, and then if they barricaded themselves, and of course it would elevate to bringing the hostage negotiation team out with the tactical team,
Right.
of course, with SWAT. But a lot of the barricades didn't have to happen because those CIT guys and gals were doing such a great job being able to de-escalate whatever the issue was. And it's an art form. It's a skill set. It's a skill set to be able to communicate.
Right.
And that is a trained skill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yeah, it was great to be part of that team.
That's what I like about your perspective, because you got so many different training and experience. I think that would be helpful in a lot of different areas. If you don't know how to approach a person, then with your training, you could more easily read a person than an average person would be able to, because of your experience and training. Because you now know when you approach somebody, your spectrum of seeing somebody isn't just, the normal area. You've seen that.
Right.
Yeah.
Training experience is huge, and the training, and then like we talked about before, the practical applications of that training.
Right.
But it's also passing on that knowledge and experience to the people that come after us.
Right.
And that's our responsibility now at the point in our lives and our careers is continue learning, because every day you can learn something new.
Yes.
but also pass on to the people below, that come after us, or the people that you're in charge of. Hey, you did a great job today, but maybe you would have tried this. It would have turned out a little bit better, or you could have furthered the case a little bit if it's an investigation. Two heads are always better than one.
Yes.
Right, but especially if it's coming from experience. I mean, it's the old adage of, sit at the table with people that are smarter than you,
Yeah.
or more experienced anyway. You want to learn from them, right? So that's what I think, what I like to think I bring to the table. I'm very excited about it. So.